What's going on YouTube? So I decided to make me some black bean burgers. They're my absolute favorite, but they're like $5 a box at the supermarket for just like two burgers. So I said, let me make me some burgers. I'm pretty good at like coming up with a recipe off the top of my head. You have to know what ingredients do what, and then you can pretty much make anything. Like, flour is a binder, eggs is what they do and stuff like that. So I guess the hard part is doing it with vegetables and trying to make something that reminds you of a burger. So what we have here is onions, pepper, and celery. Besides the black beans, Goya beans, I love Goya. I have my fish seasoning. I have my complete seasoning. I have the Chef Paul's, which I like, the salt-free kind. I have basil. I love that flavor. I have red pepper flakes. Parsley. Parsley is always good. It has a fresh herbal flavor to it. And I have mixed vegetables that I'm kind of defrosting in the microwave. I didn't want to cook them, but I just want to defrost them a little bit. I want to keep them a little icy because it'll prevent the patties from getting too mushy when I blend them up. So I want to keep them a little frozen. Same thing with the peppers and onions and the celery. I just defrosted a little bit and broke it up. But I'm going to mix that with my frozen vegetables. And then that's going to be what goes into my patty. I'm going to blend that up until it's kind of like a fine mince. I'm going to post that in the blender and until it's nice and smooth. If it has a couple of lumps in it, that's fine, but I just want to break that down as far as possible so that it becomes a consistency of like ground meat. So here's my blender. I'm putting everything inside the blender. As I said, it's still semi-frozen, so and that's what I wanted. I put a little Thai chili garlic paste in there because I just want to maximize the flavor. When you're just doing it with vegetables, you don't get that savory meat feeling, so you can bump up the flavor. So I put a spoonful of that in there just to kick up the heat and just make it that much better. I love spice, so I'm fine with it if it was too spicy. These are only for me. So I had to put that in there. And I wound up putting a little water in there because it made it blend a little better, but that's the consistency I want. It looks like baby food, like a really chunky baby food. And I didn't want to lose all of the lumps. I'm fine with that. There's a couple carrots in there. I eventually blended it up more, but I wanted it like a thick baby food consistency. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it smells incredible. So that's what it looks like. Baby poop. Yep, as baby poop. And then I took my black beans. I love black beans, full of protein and kind of makes you feel full. So, and I wanted to blend those up, but I didn't want them really smooth. Again, I want to leave some chunks in there, some texture. So I did add a little bit of water and I blended them up, and that's what it looks like. More baby food or baby poop, but it's actually really delicious. So yeah, that's the consistency that I wanted. Then I added those to the bowl with the vegetables. Okay, stop playing with the food. Get into the bowl. Alright. This is camera stuff is really hard to do when you're trying to make it and film at the same time. But okay, a little blackout. Alright, here we go. Alright. I got it out the blender. I had to take the bottom off, but it eventually all came out the blender, which was good. And then here it is in the bowl. That's my vegetables. and my black beans. And then I started to add, I realized that I wanted it to bind a little better. So like I said, you gotta know what does what. Instant potatoes are a good way to add it's a good binder instead of adding flour. So I put just a little bit of that in there, and it'll help as a binder for the patties. And I added some red pepper flakes. Very liberally. I love spice, as I said. Yeah, just put some more. Yep, put a little bit more. And some salt-free seasoning, Chef Paul. Where were we? Had a phone call, but yeah, put a little fish seasoning in there. That has parsley in it. It has a little cayenne. It's really good. It's a good generic seasoning, but it has a really good flavor. Some basil in there. It has that herbal note. I love basil. What else are we gonna put? We're gonna put some parsley. I love the parsley. It just has that green. Yeah, it's a lot. But as I said, I like it. And then Saison. This is not Saison. This is complete seasoning, which has garlic and parsley in it, but it has a good flavor. And then what else? Oh, black pepper. Can't forget the ground black pepper. It has a different heat than cayenne. The red pepper. It touches a different part of the palate, so it's good to balance those heats out. And then I'm gonna mix this up, and then a little bit of sugar, brown sugar. You have all them salty notes, and a touch of sweet, kind of like rounds out the flavors, So, and then it'll help with browning. So just that little bit of brown sugar is not gonna make it sweet. It's gonna help you balance out the flavor. When I mixed it up and I tasted it, it doesn't have anything raw in it, like dairy or anything. So you can always taste it along the way. It just needed a little bit something else. So I had the Chef Paul's salmon season, which, again, it's just not for fish. It has a lot of great things in it, like turmeric and other great things. So I put a little bit of that in there. Instead of using like a Lawry's or something, I use that. And I also wanted to add some curry powder. I put curry powder in everything, just a touch. Sometimes the color, it'll just impart some color into it, but it also gives it a good warm flavor. So I always put a little curry and stuff. And then I mixed it all up, and I think I added a little onion powder and hot sauce. And that was it. That was all I added. So I mixed everything together, and I think I did put like a tablespoon of oil in there that wasn't on camera. I put a tablespoon of vegetable oil in there. But I decided I was going to mix these in a measuring cup. This is a cup. I think it's a half a cup measuring cup, and I was going to make my patties in there. So I packed it in there nice and tight, and then it's had a little difficulty getting it out, but if you shake it hard enough, that little coating of that little bit of vegetable oil makes it slide out eventually. And I made my 6 patties. It perfectly made 6 healthy sized patties. And I sprinkled a little bit more salmon seasoning on top and sprayed a little oil on top, a little vegetable oil. And then that was it. And I put them in the oven until they dried out and got golden brown on the outside, but they were still kind of moist in the inside. And when I tell you, it's not meat, don't taste like meat, but if I had some vegan cheese and some vegan mayonnaise and some lettuce and tomato on a bun, they would be incredible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other 5 and I'm going to freeze them in a freezer, and then I can cook them at a later time. But peace and blessings.